I traumatized a kid with a sandwich at primary school.
And so the cheese sits, patiently waiting for its next victim.
This is how I did it. I don't think it's a secret to anyone from if you are an avid viewer. And I say this every time. I am certified diagnosed with autism my whole life. I'm not gonna... Oh my god. It's filming on my iPhone. What the fuck? Has something ever haunted you straight to your core? Something that you feel deep inside your chest, that it feels like it's burning inside of you and there's no fire escape, there's no way to leave, there's no windows, there's no doors, there's no anything. It's like that's like that movie, that unbearably boring movie, Putting It Up Here, was not scary, and you feel like you're gonna gouge your eyes out without the ghost, and then there's no ghost. But there is. Peanut butter. I'll draw a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's peanut butter jelly time, bitches. I'm not gonna throw a pity party like Melanie Martinez. You weirdo! You weirdo! I used to follow you! Now you're a freak! You've always been a freak, but now we know. Sorry. I used to, be heavily bullied. I'm not throwing a pity party. Or I'm not trying to make you feel sad, and, you know, I used to have a big tendency to grapple onto pity and sad people because, like, I love the attention of it, and I found getting attention from that was so fun because, like, people would be crying and, like, you know, crying with you over stuff, and you'd be like, yeah, you care enough about me to do that. There's an ego boost in that. I was heavily bullied throughout my first formative years at high school. I went to a Catholic school. My vivid memories that I can recall was being in the special needs class at the end of like this science block, and it was like tucked away, and I didn't have to do anything. I was like, shit, this is just chill. This is relax. Except they would do like religious prayer group every now and then, and I'd bore my eyes. I'm like, I'd rather be in class than pray, like in a circle, and everyone else looks so disinterested. They're like, wait, when will I get my iPad back? When will I go back on the computer to play Friv and play the haunted house game? Like, let me get some of that in that hot dog game. But no, it was very chill in there. But every time I went outside, it was very much a bullying ground. If you know Australia, and you know Australia culture, if you don't know Australia's culture, in America, it's very much no to the R word. And if you don't know the R word, use that as a term to dehumanize people with disabilities in that time. Americans don't use it anymore. Australians love to use it. They love to use it. It's like their little bit of like a, you know, it's kind of the charm of it, except it's just really offensive. But every time you bring it up, like every time I'd bring it up, I'd be like, hey, let's not do it. But yes, it is very much a part of our culture. And the bullying culture here is very much reminiscent of the Australian culture here, which is very nonchalant but very intense in a different way, because it's very passive. The mean comments, the mean stunts are purposeful, very much purposeful, but they're very much like in like a chill way and you kind of get really thrown off by the dynamics of it. I used to be part of a group. Two were my very close friends now, one of which has very much like came to my side, was like, I'm sorry about that whole tobacco back then. Tobacco? I don't smoke. She's like one of my closest friends, and she is such a beautiful person. And then the other person is like my ride or die. Those are two very good people in my life. But that group, that group was very much sink or swim. Picture me, year 9, getting bullied very relentlessly. People would run away from me. People would invite me to parties just to like make fun of me. And I was called the floater. Because I'd float from group to group. I went from like point A group that was like near like this like statue at our school, and then I went to the theater block, and then I went to the Oval block, and then I went to the lunch block, and I was much of a floater because I had to run everywhere. I had to run everywhere. Okay. So I made up a little diagram because I just was at our school. We had tuck shop. Everybody has tuck shop. Everybody knows as soon as tuck shop was open, line queued. If you had a pre-order food, that was beyond this time in my life. It was at my second school that I had that. And I remember at this tuck shop at this Catholic school, they had the best cookies. There was these huge giant cookies, and they were really, really good. But then I remember the sausage rolls being very shit. That doesn't really look like a sausage roll. Anyways, there was always a line. As soon as the bell rang, a lot of kids would run out of the class beforehand. And that would piss a lot of the teachers off because the teachers had this really weird thing about socks. Where's your socks, boys? Where's your socks? And they also had a really weird thing about staying to the very end of the class, even if the bell has rang like 20 seconds after. They wanted you to sit in your seat before being excused. So we would all kind of rush out of class into the tuck shop area. The tuck shop area was quite at the pinnacle of the school, but everybody mostly hanged around the Oval areas. So I was at the tuck shop area with my friend group at the time. It was, let's say, Bianca. Let's say Bianca, May, Autumn, and me. There was one other person, but they don't really do anything. I would tag along with this team the most because I really wanted to be socially accepted into this group. And this group was very much a group of people that I was like, yes, slay. You know, like their humor was very dry and very cut, and like they were like very attractive people to be around. So I just like staring at them. And I didn't really realize back then that I was bisexual. So I was like, in that. And maybe I like the torment of it. I like the torment of, you know, call me a terrible name that reprimands my disability. Oh, anyways, don't worry about it. And I was sitting here and I had a peanut butter jelly sandwich. I don't think there was jelly on it, but I think it'd be more fun to think there was jelly on it. I don't remember there being jelly sandwiches. I remember it was like a peanut butter sandwich. I'd always say, Mom, don't add butter to my peanut butter sandwiches. And she wouldn't add butter. But then there was the occasional butter. And it was just like a really cold, like guide of the knife one where it was really chunky in the middle, and then there was barely any butter on the side. So when I'd bite into it, I'd just taste like the butter melt into my mouth, and not in a good way. It would start off really chunky, and then it would like melt at the end. So it didn't even really have that satisfaction. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was here in this group, and I was getting bullied as usual. They had a tendency of running away from me. They would look at each other and then they'd be like, 3, 2, 1, and they would bolt. And I would be like, what's going on? And then I was a really fast kid. I had very little cardio in my lungs. So when they ran away, I never knew really where they went. And then I'd see them sometimes in class and be like, oh, there's where you went. And I remember the lines of it going like, they were saying some jabs here and there. And it was kind of like making me already upset because I was a very sensitive child. You could be so mean to me And you would still get the same result if you said something like a slightly tone deaf way of saying something by accident. Red in the face, eyes bawling already. I still do that. If someone sounds like they're genuinely being mean to me, I just like unfriend them and move along because I can't tell. And if I can't tell, I can't live. Anyways, my mom would pack those sandwiches and they were all going around and talking about me, but then like talking about other stuff in between that. And I was talking to them about how they were like opening up their lunch boxes and they were like, oh, so what did everyone get from lunch? And I was like, oh, I'd love to go first because I love to be the center of attention and please talk to me and please give me validation. And I was like, oh, I got a peanut butter sandwich and some like snacks, Dunkaroos, but I'm only gonna lick the Nutella off and then throw away the cookies. Very wasteful. Right there. I think they went on the topic on like how whenever I eat, I like it's all on my face, like regardless of anything. And that is a really typical thing with me. Like I typically eat very messy, but I will try to clean up. But I often go to the mirror after like several hours later and there's like chocolate still here or like Chipotle mayo still here. So it's an issue and I need people to tell me it. Oh my god, anyways. Here. And I was like, oh yeah, this peanut butter is so smooth, I could smooth it on my face. And they're like, oh, then you should do it. You should do it then. You should do it then. If you're all talked, you should do it then. And I'm like, oh, it was just a joke. And they're like, no, seriously, do it. Do it now. And, you know, I'm used to this sort of stuff. No. And, you know, I was just, like, kind of, like, bantering with them and, like, trying to, like, joke out of it. Because I wanted to be socially acceptable. I was trying to pick up all the social cues. And then May is like, oh, well, you know, I don't know if I want to sit here then. And I'm like, what? And then, like, Autumn goes and she's like, yeah, I don't think we should sit here if you are gonna not do that. And then it goes back to May, and May is sitting right next to me. I'm sitting there, May's sitting there. And I say, no, don't go. Because I was scared. I thought they were going to run off again. I can't run. I haven't even got my water bottle on me. I don't drink water at this period of time. I only drink Coke from McDonald's after school. My hydration was 0. I will not keep up with you. You guys could hide at the Oval. I won't even be at the Oval. I'll still be trying to trace behind you from the tuck shop to the sports center. I will not be there. And I was worried, and I was like, oh, no, don't go, just don't go, because I was scared they were going to run off. And they're like, well, I guess we're going to have to, because you're boring, and you won't put any peanut butter on his face. Like, just do it. And then all of them started chanting, saying, do it. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter no jelly, peanut butter no jelly, peanut butter no jelly. And they were all, like, starting to, like, pressure me. And I, at that point when I was year 9, I still didn't understand if they were like bullying me or because it's so passive and it sounds like a joke. I didn't know if they were bullying me or they were just joking around with me. And then I made I made a big decision that wasn't, thinking about it wasn't a big decision, but it was because it was a big reaction. So I unfold my sandwiches. One side, my beautiful smooth peanut butter, and then the other side, a chunk of butter in the middle. And with that information, with that piece, I say, you really want me to do it? And May's like, yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. I look at it and I look at her and then I smush it onto her face. I smush it onto her face all the way down. And then dinosaur T-Rex let loose. May was not having it. She stands up, starts crying. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should run back to the special needs class because it's about to get serious. And at this point, she runs away to the toilet. Move behind to the toilet block. That's behind this sort of. It's like kind of like just like a wall, and then until you walk behind it, it's like toilets. It's fitting that it's right next to the tuck shop. Great design. After I would have that cookie, I would have the run. So straight to the toilet for me. But yes, they ran to the toilets. I followed behind. I thought they were joking again until my heart sank as I was walking. I was hearing her cry and saying, that fucking bitch just slammed that autistic bitch slammed it. I'm like, autistic? Usually you don't use those words. Usually you're a bit more like discreet with it, but I think I really set her off. So that's when I started freaking out. I shouldn't have comforted her, but I did. I ran up and I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought we all were joking. She's like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm like, I pushed a button. But like, what did you expect me to do? I think I was just really, I was on the cusp of two things. I was really clueless about the situation. And I also was kind of done just being the butt of their jokes. Like, it was like a mix of two things. I think I was a little aware, but not a lot aware of what was happening. And it was all over her face, and she was washing it off in the bathroom. And she's like, I've got makeup underneath this. I can't patch this up. Miss Price took my makeup bag, so I can't even put makeup over it. Now there's just going to be a splodge there. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. And then she's like, leave me alone. So I left. And no, I don't think May ever talked to me after that. Like, I left the school at the end of that year because of the bullying. And I never looked back. I don't think I ever talked to May again. May hated me after that. She did not like me. There was like a fun sort of factor that she had to have me around because of the bullying thing. Bully owned by autistic girl that was bullied. But, you know, I think she just kind of tapped out. And then at my new school, I was at like one of my first jobs at the time. I was like Cars Junior. And there was a girl at Cars Junior that used to be my friend. And she was like, I know May. I'm like, how do you know May? I just do. I've heard about the peanut butter jelly. Worldwide. How does this lady know from me? And I'm like, worldwide, Mr. Worldwide over here. Like, was it that deep? Tell the whole, and I was like, tell the whole story, May. Tell the whole story. Doesn't sound very admirable. Of you. Poor little me. Poor little autistic me. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not baby-tizing myself. I'm not that, like, show on Netflix about love on a spectrum. I'm not baby-tizing autistic people. And you shouldn't watch that show either. I was a worldwide phenomenon. Peanut butter crazy girl. Peanut butter, no jelly. Just crazy. And that's how I own my bullies. If you like that, subscribe. If you like these interpretations, subscribe. If you like this, like it. If you think that is going too far and I actually took something too wrong and that I'm just making myself look good here, comment, rage bait, rage. I've got a lot more stories from school if you want to listen. The Chronicles of a Neurodivergent Girlie. And I love reminiscing, but it's probably not good for me.